Good morning and welcome back into the Cowboys Report. Dallas taking down Atlanta in the final preseason game, 31-13. We will get into our final batch of winners and losers from the preseason finale in this one here in just a second. Before we dive into that, if you enjoyed our Cowboys preseason coverage, we are now into roster cutdown coverage time. Show it by liking today's video. A lot more videos to come, by the way, on the Cowboys Report. Let's talk winners from the third preseason game. I want to shout out a couple notable DNPs, guys who did not participate in this game. Jalen Tolbert didn't play. Indication he's going to be on the roster, not much doubt there. Damone Clark was actually not dressed. Maurice Leofau was as the emergency linebacker. Not going to read too much into it, but noteworthy. Hakeem Adeniji did not play in this one. I would rather roster Ajani Cornelius. I think Adeniji not playing in this game is an indication he is going to be on the 53-man roster. We're going to make some changes to our final one that'll go out either later tonight, but more likely Sunday morning. I'm going to have to find a way to put him on there. It's going to be tough for me. All right, some more winners. How about Joe Milton? He played better. That was a much more enjoyable Joe Milton preseason experience than what we've encountered in recent days here, in recent weeks, I should say, on the Cowboys Report. He was productive on the ground as a runner. Still needs to boost his awareness of put the ball out in front of you, buddy, when you're near the first down marker. But 10 of 18, some drops mixed in there, some throwaways mixed in there. I thought there were like one or two throws. I'm like, that wasn't great. It's common for most quarterbacks. This was much better from Joe Milton. This was viable. This was like actual quarterback. The touch was there. He threw some great deep shots downfield. I liked a lot of what I saw from Joe Milton in this matchup. Tip of the cap to him. I liked it quite a bit from Joe Milton this one. I felt better coming out of that game for Milton. I think a lot of us did. So grade Joe Milton against the Falcons. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know in the comment section of today's show. A, B, C, D, or F. It's the pinned comment, by the way, on today's show. A couple different backs we'll mention on today's video. Deuce Vaughn is one of them. All he does when he gets like actual looks that aren't garbage time, up the middle for 2 yards nonsense, is produce. I don't think enough of us are giving him enough attention as a viable 53-man roster candidate. He continues to showcase some stuff on special teams. The Cowboys put Deuce Vaughn and Jaden Blue back there on returns. Deuce Vaughn was the first running back to play, even over Jaden Blue, which I disagree with. I don't think that makes any real sense. But Vaughn has continuously worked ahead of Phil Mafah, ahead of Miles Sanders at times even, with Sanders being banged up. He'll be in our losers section. I don't think we should ignore Vaughn's 53-man roster chances. I think in general, whatever running back or backs you cut are going to make it through waivers. This is a bad running back room that teams don't often make waiver claims on in general. Like I think there's a very real chance all those guys get through. I don't think we should sleep on Deuce Vaughn's 53-man roster chances. Today's Cowboys Report is made possible by Ethos. It's the father of one kid and a second one on the way. Trust me when I say life insurance matters. It is not fun to think about what would happen if something happened to you, but you do need to be prepared. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get your free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. Ethos is a trustworthy company that disrupts the traditional life insurance industry, and it's more affordable than you might think. It's an online platform. Makes getting life insurance fast and easy. Protect your family's future in minutes, not months. There is no complicated process, and it's 100% online. No medical exam is required. You just answer a few health questions and get a quote in as little as 10 minutes. 3 million families have completed their applications and trusted Ethos to help find the right coverage. Protect your family with life insurance from Ethos. Get that free quote at ethos.com/NFL Daily. That's ethos.com/NFL Daily. Links in the comments section and the description of today's show. Next winner, it is indeed Phil Mafah. In a very limited sample size, that makes me wonder if the Cowboys are just trying to stash him and acknowledging he had the drop on third down that, maybe could have been a better throw, but still hit him in the hands, and I believe hands equals should be caught. Phil Mafah ran well. I like him as a runner. I think he does offer you something you don't have as a power runner who's a better power runner than Hunter Lipke is, who can move those chains and lowers the shoulder pads and runs hard. I like Phil Mafah. He was a late 7th-round pick who, has averaged 3.75 whatever yards per carry in the preseason. I do think he'd make it through waivers. But I would not be upset in any capacity if the Cowboys kept him, because he did some good stuff this preseason. So does Phil Mafah make the Cowboys roster? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. You think Phil Mafah ends up making the Cowboys' 53-man roster? If I ran the Cowboys, I would find a way to keep James Houston. I don't care if I'm cutting Peyton Turner or I'm trading him or I'm dumping Tyra Sweet. I want him on my team. He made plays. I thought he was one of, if not the very best players on the field tonight. He had 3 tackles. He had 2 TFLs. He had a sack. He had a quarterback hit. I loved what I saw from James Houston. I'm keeping him if I ran the team. I would find a way to make it happen. I get that you're kind of deep at edge rusher, pass rush guys in general. I'll make it work. I would find a way to keep James Houston. It was not perfect. I think in general we're probably a little too focused on Mazi Smith. He left the field and looked like he was tired because he was tired. He's a 300-plus pound defensive lineman. That's how rotations work. The TFL was a gift. That was handed on a silver platter to him because somehow as the nose guard, nobody blocked him. But I thought he played pretty well. I noticed him in a more impactful fashion in this particular game. The Falcons' early backs didn't do anything. They got going late in the game when they kept trying to run the football. Elijah Dotson ran well, but the lead back was Nathan Carter. He had 4 carries for 10 yards. I thought Mazi played better. The fact that he was playing into the deep second quarter of a third preseason game shows he's probably more not a roster lock, but still, I thought he did some good stuff. I just need to see a lot more of that on a consistent basis. Who is your biggest Cowboys preseason winner against the Falcons? Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Biggest Cowboys preseason winner. I thought Perrion Winfrey also did some good stuff. Again, I noticed him more than I noticed Jay Toia, and I'm not taking a shot at Toia. He's not on our losers list for a reason, by the way. But Winfrey's disruptive. They give him pass rush edge snaps, which is insane to me, and just showcases they just weren't going to play anybody else. They were out of rosters. I did not have Perrion Winfrey stand-up edge on my bingo card when we got there tonight, or I should say Saturday night. 4 tackles, 1 TFL, a sack, a couple quarterback hits. I like him. If I were in charge of the Cowboys, based on the preseason only, I'd rank him Winfrey, Mazi, Jay Toia. You can't keep all 3. I'm not opposed to cutting 2 of them and adding an outside player, by the way, but you're going to have to cut at least one of them. Probably. Who is it? PW for Perrion Winfrey, MS for Mazi Smith, JT for Jay Toia. You're going to have to cut one, and I want better help in general anyway. Let me know which one you're dumping in the comments section of today's show. Elijah Clark is next up here. A couple big-time splash plays I noticed. It was around the football on a pretty consistent basis. I think he did some good stuff tonight. I would like to keep giving him the football, or keep on the practice squad. Keep him on the practice squad in this one. 2 more players I want to just verbally mention. Shamar James, by the way, nice pick. Ball went right to him, but he's obviously going to make this team. I like him. I thought Ryan Flournoy had himself a very nice night. I thought Princeton Fant did some good blocking stuff. I want to mention him as well. Rivaldo Fairweather, an elite catch. Ryan Flournoy, 4 catches, 45 yards. He was the best receiver on the Dallas Cowboys. It's not even a conversation, frankly. Losers to come, but also roster cuts to come for the Dallas Cowboys. Maybe not tomorrow, but Monday, Tuesday, we're going to have a ton of news for you here on the Cowboys Report. So do not miss out. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/@CowboysTV. Miles Sanders, I don't think there's a player more firmly on the bubble right now than Sanders. I thought Deuce Vaughn and Phil Mafah were better than him in the preseason. Sanders looked like for a second was going to make the team because he didn't play in the game. Therefore he's going to make it, right? Well, he's actually hurt. Shoulder injury for Miles Sanders. So what do I do with that? Is he actually healthy? Does he make the team? Miles Sanders is a wild card right now for this Cowboys 53-man roster. Biggest Cowboys preseason loser. Drop that player name or names in the comment section of today's show. Let me know who the biggest Cowboys preseason loser was. Robert Rochelle is on my losers list, and he had the interception. That was gift wrap from Ben DiNucci on a 15-yard underthrow that Rochelle came back to make the pick on. I get that. He had a bunch of tackles. It's actually a bad thing as a corner. He got picked on a lot. And there was that touchdown throw for Felipe Franks diving into the end zone. Rochelle almost jogged it. Come on, man. He was never going to make the team. I don't need him on my practice squad either, frankly. I should also mention Andrew Booth did not play because he's going to make this roster. I should have mentioned that earlier. Will Grier. In a way, it was almost like not up to him if he made the Cowboys roster or not. Like, if Joe Milton played well, I was going to bump him back down and not put him on the 53. It says he went 4 of 6 for 40 yards, but I didn't think it was very consistent. He took the lone sack of the game for the Cowboys, fumbled at one point as well, recovered it. 3 carries, 4 yards. Some penalty stuff mixed in there. I thought that Grier was like, okay. I think that as a vested veteran, practice squad might be the path here for Grier. Finally, and it pains me dearly, because I like him, Traeshon Holden. He caught a pass. Caught 2 actually for 22 yards, but he body catched a lot. He had a bad drop that he can't have. You can't drop passes out there if you're Traeshon Holden. He did play before Brooks, so he did move up the depth chart there, but he was clearly behind Flournoy going into tonight, and Brooks, who had a great touchdown catch, by the way. He wasn't as productive as Flournoy and Brooks was. So I think he's stuck as a practice squatter. Finally, Micah Parsons. I honestly just don't want to have much discussion on this. Here's where we sit with Micah Parsons and the Dallas Cowboys. We're at the exact same spot we were when he requested the trade. Kind of crazy to me to see people freak out over the Instagram and Twitter changes. What, the trade request wasn't your first clue things were bad? Micah just seems upset. He seems frustrated. He is upset with the Cowboys. I don't think we can remotely consider Jerry Jones a reliable narrator in any of this, but Micah's unhappy. That is very clear. I think if we're not acknowledging that, we're kind of being delusional. He didn't talk to reporters. Trayvon Diggs said, he had the MRI in his back. The back's fine. We all know it. Like, that's not a real injury. I don't want him to skip games. I want him to get paid because my priority is on the Cowboys. I want to win football games. Micah Parsons helps you do that. So if it's an issue with Jerry not paying him that hurts you there, I'm upset with Jerry. If Micah's skipping games, which I don't think he's going to do, and I feel bad for Schottenheimer, by the way, then that's on him, and I don't like that either. But I just want this whole saga done. The next 2 weeks or so, it's not going to be done.